Hello, my friends, and Happy New Year. Here we are. It is 2023. I am thrilled to be back speaking directly to all of you. And today we are going to go through a trend report for New Year, New Trends. Now, this isn't specifically for wedding planners. This is actually a presentation that I gave at the Wedding MBA, and it is a trend report for what we can see industry-wide going on throughout the wedding and event space. So let's get into it because this is going to be a really exciting dynamic year. We have a lot of couples that are re-engaged in the planning process. And for you to do your best work, these are the things that you really need to be paying attention to. So the first thing that we are going to see here in 2023 is that presentation really matters. The way that you are presenting your work to your clients is going to become monumentally more important. It's no longer good enough to simply send a Pinterest board. It's no longer good enough to simply direct them to an Instagram page. We need to elevate the way that we are presenting our work. And a lot of times that means renderings. So I had an event in December that was really just truly very sophisticated, very magnificent, a lot of production. And I wholeheartedly believe that the key to selling that event properly was being able to present it in a way that my clients were really able to connect to. So how do you do that? I need you to start with inspiration images, just like you always have. Start with a mood board. This does not need to be a literal, this is the couch, this is the chair. This is about the feelings, the way that the colors and the textures play together. After you get past that, then you go and you dive a little bit deeper into saying, based on this look, based on this feel, we really need to start looking at these specific elements. And then I encourage you to take it a step forward and either sketch or render or work with a rendering artist. There are so many fantastic opportunities out there to actually get your work rendered so that you can present something that really gives the client a very clear idea of what it is that they can expect. Because once again, you cannot sell what you cannot show. The next thing that we are going to see quite a bit of in the year 2023 is repurposing items with intention. Now, regardless of whether or not your clients have a $20,000 budget, a $200,000 budget, or a $2 million budget, it's important to make use of the pieces that you have and reimagine them from one step in the process to another. So how would you do that in the coming year? The first thing that you would really look to do is build out your ceremony with the intention of moving pieces from one place to another. So I have a great example here that I'm going to pop up on the screen and show you. We did a ceremony with these beautiful aisle runners. Each side of the aisle had these gorgeous boxes filled with flowers and with candles. After the ceremony, when everyone was in the cocktail hour, we took those out and we put them up against the front of the stage. This way, we really highlighted, added a decorative element. Nobody's walking in and saying, aren't those the same flowers that I just saw in the other room? They're walking in and all they see is an abundance of roses and orchids and hydrangea. And it just shows that you took the time to really pay attention to those small details. At another wedding, once again, we had aisle runners on each side of the aisle. And I didn't want to be derivative and do the same thing that I had done previously. And so these were then taken and put around the cake so that this beautiful floral experience looked like it was coming out just straight from a garden. We also used the huppah, which was this really beautiful four-postered, covered in green. It had flowers coming up on the sides. That's a big investment, not just in money, but in time, in the time that it took to design, in the time that it took to produce. It's such an eye-catching statement. We didn't want it to be just one and done. And so instead, we kept that structure in place and then we used it to house the couple's sweetheart table. So when you are designing and you are looking at things, I really encourage you to say, if I use it once, how can I use it again and again and again so that I can continue to be transformative in my design, but that my couple gets a really kind of luxe over the top interpretation of their worldview. The third thing that we are going to see a lot of this year is progressive entertainment. So this means you don't just have a DJ. It means you have more than just strings down the ceremony and then a DJ later. People want to be entertained, they want to be delighted, and they want to be surprised. So you are going to see things like lots of live singers in ceremonies. We started this trend back in 2020 when we had Jason White's chorus come out and do a whole gospel. That has been a huge trend that continues to take off. But you will see live music, live singers during the ceremony. And then when you go into cocktail hour, you progress to something a little bit more festive. Now you have horns. Now maybe you have a little bit of a cymbal or some percussion, something that feels jazzy and exciting. You go from that into your reception where you do have a full band, a full orchestra. I'm talking 12, 16 pieces. So you've got a little bit of everything. A lot of times you'll have both a male and a female lead singer, and you'll have all the instruments. They can come down onto the dance floor. They can really engage with your guests. And then towards the end of the night, we once again progress and transition into a DJ. This is where you're going to hear those really big, really popular dance songs that people want to vibe to when the party has really gotten going and when you have a lot of people, packed, great energy. You've now given people 4 different unique experiences at 4 different points in the wedding, and you're really leveraging entertainment and using it to tell a story and to guide people through the night in a way that isn't just saying, okay, everybody get out on the dance floor. The band comes on. It is a subtle way of gesturing to them what's coming next. Now, in addition to this, we are going to continue to see a lot of unique experiences. In some way, this is entertainment, but it's also a lot of performance art. So what is performance art? We're seeing belly dancers. We're seeing women come out and do sword dancing. We're seeing fire dancers. We're also seeing things like a beautiful kind of master of ceremonies that when you get up and it's the first instinct and the first moment that you get to experience at the wedding, that there is somebody there beautifully dressed or in costume to greet you. It sets the tone for the rest of the night. The other thing we're seeing in terms of unique experiences is shopping. We love to go and to pick out our own. Now, I'm not somebody who loves party favors, because I think a lot of times you get a cup with somebody's initial on it. You're like, what am I going to do with that? You get, these little tchotchke things that either you don't want to carry home or you can't carry them home. But we're seeing a lot of experiences where now you can build out a wall and people can actually pick what it is that they want to enjoy after the event. We did a baby shower and we actually created this huge vintage candy shop where we had candy on the poles, candy on the walls. They got branded bags. Everybody loves something sweet at the end of the night when they're traveling back to their house or back to the room. So shopping experiences like that are really huge. And adult bounce houses are so much fun. You are going to see this at bridal showers. You're going to see it at weddings. You're going to see it at engagement parties. You're going to see it at birthday parties because it taps into that moment when you're a kid and you're really carefree and you're looking to just kind of kick off your shoes, do something different. It's always a moment that people really, really enjoy. Our next big trend for 2023 is that you are going to see massively elaborate themed welcome receptions and welcome parties. Not to be confused with a rehearsal, which is still more of a rehearsal dinner just meant for the family and the bridal party. But people are still missing each other. They still really want to gather. They still feel like, especially if it's a destination, I have all of these people together for 3 days and they're mine, and I want to leverage that, and I want to squeeze every bit of excitement and joy and gathering that I can out of them. And so couples are looking to host really big, elaborate welcome parties. A lot of people still miss the fact that we didn't get our version of the Roaring 20s. We didn't get that big 2020 celebration. So expect to see a lot of Gatsby. Expect to continue to see a lot of black, gold, and white. We're going to see feathers. We're going to see jewels. We're going to see really architectural patterns. We're also going to see a celebration of culture and travel and location. So Dubai is still hot on everybody's list. Mediterranean parties are still hot on everybody's list. Expect to see tents. Expect to see a lot of really vibrant color, unique seating where you can sit on the floor, on pillows, and also on tabletops and communal. You're going to see a celebration of places that people have gone because cultural influences are going to also continue to be a big trend in 2023. Cultural influences can be oftentimes religious. So we see a lot of people that are going back to their roots. They're going back to church. They're having bigger ceremonies. We see a lot of people really kind of celebrating their Jewish faith. And it's not just enough to have a huppah and a rabbi. They want a cantor. They want somebody to sing. We're seeing a lot of multicultural experiences where you have Indian celebrations that do have a mandap and a pundit and fire. We're seeing people celebrate specifically during the Chinese New Year, which is coming up for us right now. The point is that people want to go back to a time where maybe life was a little bit simpler. They want to create a story that is generational and that has heritage. And so you are going to see people going back and saying, where did I come from? And now how am I getting to where I'm going? And incorporating the places that they've been and their family's history into their wedding celebration. We are going to see a lot of interactive food stations. Now, I'm a foodie. I love food. This is always really, really exciting to me. And so instead of just a regular seated dinner and instead of just a buffet, I want you to start thinking about things in terms of action stations. I want you to look at food as an experience. So maybe you have one area where there's a chef and he's doing fresh tossed pasta, and that pasta is specifically paired with a wine that goes with it. And then you kind of wander around a little bit, and then there's a carving station, and there's one or two different types of meat, and that meat is paired with a different wine. And then as you continue to go, you have a seafood experience, and maybe the seafood is paired with a champagne, and you have a little sign that just says, hey, we've got a little bit of everything. This is the seafood that you're eating. This is the champagne it's been paired with. This is the experience that you have when you combine these two items. This is a great way to educate your guests, to excite them, and to give them a unique experience and allow them to try something that they possibly haven't tried before. We're also going to see a lot of specialty desserts. So yes, we're going to have the cake. And yes, we're going to have the petit fours and the cookies, but we're seeing a lot of donuts and donuts that are dipped in something a little bit more dazzling. We are seeing a lot of like edible crystals, edible stones, things that are metallic that really catch the eye and tie back into the decor. So when you're having something like a Gatsby-esque party with a lot of black and white and gold, you're going to see that the desserts are going to have gold foiling. And as always, we do really love to have a special cocktail, not a specialty cocktail, because we've seen the bride's drink and the groom's drink, or the bride and grooms. We've seen that before. What we're now starting to see are cocktail stations, and a lot of cocktail smoking stations where you actually set up a cloche and you make the drink and you put it inside, and then you infuse it with this really wonderful smoky aroma. And then when you lift it up, there's this level of fanfare because the smoke comes out and the smell kind of wafts through the room, and then you get this very kind of custom, curated, handcrafted cocktail that again has entertained you, but given you something really delicious that you probably wouldn't have gotten on a regular bar. If you are in photography, we are going to see big, over-the-top engagement sessions. Everybody really is doubling down on documenting their life experiences. And whereas before you may have just gone into someone's home or maybe out to a beautiful garden or to a location, people are really taking the time to use their engagement as an opportunity to tell their story, to set the tone for what's to come, and to experience something that's just for them. So you are going to see really unique locations. So you might end up going into an old theater and wiping everything out and having the couple stand directly on the stage because they are the main characters in their love story. For couples who want romance, and flowers. You are going to see boats, which we did in 2021. That trend has not gone away. In fact, it's become something that people are asking for more and more often. So you're going to see rowboats, you're going to see yachts, you're going to see them decorated out with flowers. You're going to see landscape photos. So where people are now wanting to shoot the location, because just like Sex and the City, New York is another character. They want the location that they're being photographed in to be another character. So mountaintops, deserts, they're going and doing destination engagement shoots where, they're going to the ruins in Italy and they're making it this whole vacation experience, because we really have been given permission in this new world to celebrate everything like it's such a big deal, because it is. And with that, people are going back to really big, bold color combinations. I know that Pantone has come out with their color, but I'm telling you right now, expect to see a lot of red. Deep, dark, luscious, romantic, blood red. And that red is going to be paired with black because it adds a touch of drama. It adds a sensualness and a sophistication. It tempers the red a little bit, but it's also still very exciting. It's very clean and it's very luxe. You're going to see a lot of pastel shades being mixed. It's not just one color, one tone. It's literally a rainbow that takes you from a pale pink to a peach to an orange to a yellow and a blue and a lavender. Something that entertains your eye and gives you a little bit of vibrance. And you're always going to see these really kind of contrasting moments where, again, if you go with a very sleek, luxurious black, you're going to soften it with something like a baby pink, a pastel pink, a cream, because the sophistication of showing a bold combination that most people wouldn't dare to do is very important. And one of the last things that we are going to see are destination elopements. Now, elopements, mini moons, mini ceremonies, I call this anything that is under 15 to 20 people. Now, I had a micro wedding 10 years ago because I wasn't looking to do a 200 person affair. I wanted to give the 9 adults and 4 children that meant the world to me the greatest, most unique experience that they could have. And today we do see people coming in, especially in Las Vegas, coming in and doing a super high-end, super luxurious elopement, just one of them with the other together in full dresses, full tuxedos, full flowers, personal chefs, big dinners. We see people hosting things with just their family, where it's just moms and dads, siblings, maybe children, and you have one magnificent table fully decked out with tall centerpieces and candles and golden accents, but it's just for a very tiny little bit of a group. And we see people really drilling down into these are the people that we love and these are the people that we want to bear witness to our experience. And so regardless of where that is, they're doing it really, really small for the ceremony and then later on going out and doing a big, huge grand celebration. Now, at the grand celebration, people want to get social. If it isn't on Instagram, if it isn't on TikTok, well, then my friends, it just didn't happen. And so what we see a lot of people asking for are Instagrammable moments. You can do this, obviously, with a photo booth, but you can elevate that experience by creating a corner environment. So back to Gatsby. Think about bathtub gin. You can bring in a bathtub and make all the bubbles coming out of the tub with balloons. You can have costumed performers that they can stand and take pictures with. We see a lot of dedicated backdrops without necessarily having the photo booth. So a background that matches in with everything else, that looks like decor, but you're being invited to go there and take your own selfies, taking your own group photos. So swings are huge. Group photos are huge. Portrait stations are huge. And I love a portrait station because you have an actual photographer there to take a beautiful picture of your guests that then they get printed, they get to push it out to social, and it gives you that immediate gratification, and everyone just looks so great. And when it comes to social, please do not forget that there is a tremendous amount of value in showing video. And so if you are a videographer or if you are a photographer, I encourage you to create day of reels, stories, and videos that your couple can share right then and there. And so this does require you to have another person, whether it's physically there or back in your office, that's getting things sent to them that they can edit. But the ability to take something and show it so immediately so that everybody can get involved, everybody can tag, everybody can repost, these things are not going to go away anytime soon. And so that is our overall trend report for the year 2023. There's a lot of stuff coming, good stuff for people like us who want to entertain, who want to bend the universe to our will, and who say it's not just enough to check the box. You really want to go over the top. You really want to show your family and friends that you put time and effort and energy into not just telling them your story, but providing them experiences so that they can develop stories of their own. In our next video, we are going to talk quite a bit specifically about planning, design, and tabletops. Until next time, this channel exists solely for you. My name is Andrea Eppolito, celebrating life, luxury, and above all else, love, and I will see you in our next trend report.